I've always believed the best photos happen when you're not looking for them. That's why I walk the city with my camera at sunrise, chasing shadows, chasing stillness. That quiet hour before the world fully wakes up, it's where stories tend to find me. It's in the soft light that spills across empty streets and between the cracks of closed blinds, where the world pauses and you catch a glimpse of something true, something fleeting. But the story that found me that morning, it had fur and a serious set of lungs. I was walking near a back alley behind a rundown cafe when I heard it, a tiny, scratchy meow. At first I thought it was just a bird or maybe the city playing tricks on my ears, but then I saw her. A little fluff ball, no bigger than a coffee mug, trembling beside a stack of broken milk crates. Her fur was matted, her ribs a little too visible for comfort. She was caught in a piece of netting, her tiny body struggling to break free. My heart clenched as I knelt down, murmuring the kind of nonsense you only say to babies and frightened animals, and gently untangled her. She didn't scratch, didn't bite, just looked up at me with these enormous gold-flecked eyes, like she wasn't sure if I was her savior or the last thing she'd ever see. I tucked her inside my flannel shirt. "You're safe now," I told her, a little stunned by the moment. "Looks like you're coming with me." I named her Pixel. It just fit. A little lost piece of something bigger. A blur, a spark, a detail in a wide shot that ends up changing the whole picture. I'm a photographer. I know light and shadows, lenses and shutter speeds. But when it comes to vet care, completely clueless. So I googled the nearest animal clinic and Pixel and I made our way there. Me with a camera bag slung over one shoulder, a kitten tucked against my chest like a living pocket warmer. We got a few curious glances along the way, but I didn't care. I was too busy listening to the tiny purring motor that had started up in my shirt. It was the first time I'd heard her make a sound that wasn't desperate. The clinic was small, clean, and smelled faintly of lavender and antiseptic. I stepped inside and tried not to look like a man who had no idea what he was doing. That's when she walked in. Dr. Alina Reyes. She wasn't dressed for drama, just scrubs and sneakers. Her hair was pulled into a loose bun with a pencil stuck through it like a wand. But there was something about her. Maybe the way her face softened when she saw a Pixel, or how she immediately crouched down to our level and said, "Who's this little adventurer?" "She found me," I said. Or I found her. Hard to tell. Alina smiled. One of those rare smiles that reaches the eyes and lingers there. "Looks like you found each other." She gently lifted Pixel from my arms and gave her a once-over. "She's malnourished, dehydrated, but I think she's going to be okay. You did good bringing her in." I shrugged. Didn't have much of a choice. She practically walked into my lens. That made her laugh. A short, musical sound that made my heart do something unfamiliar. Skip, maybe. Pixel needed fluids, a few shots, and a special diet. I had no idea how to do any of it, so I kept asking questions. Maybe more than necessary. Alina didn't seem to mind. She walked me through everything, gently and patiently. She gave me tips, printed out a guide, and even tucked in a note with a smiley face next to her name. I told myself I'd go back for the checkup in a week because Pixel needed it. But truthfully, I just wanted to see her again. Over the next few weeks, the visits turned into something else. Pixel got stronger, and I, unexpectedly, started to look forward to the sound of the clinic doorbell more than anything else in my day. Alina and I talked during each visit about photography, about cats, about how she'd once dreamed of opening a sanctuary for abandoned animals before student debt and full-time work grounded her ambitions. She asked me what it was like, wandering the city with a camera for a living. I told her it was lonely sometimes, but worth it. She said, "I think you see the world with a kind lens." And for some reason, that stuck with me. Eventually, she said yes to coffee. We sat in a park near the clinic, Pixel snoozing inside a canvas tote bag, while we sipped cappuccinos and swapped stories. I learned she painted in college. She learned I once got chased by a goose in Prague while trying to photograph reflections on a lake. It was easy. Real. None of the usual performance that comes with first dates. Just warmth. That's how it started. We didn't rush. We let life unfold the way light does in the golden hour. Slow, warm, honest. She started joining me on my photo walks. at first just to tag along. But then she began pointing things out: a cat peeking through a fence, a shadow that looked like a heart, a mural I'd walked past a dozen times and never truly seen. One morning, as I photographed her holding Pixel against her chest, wind blowing through her hair, sunlight catching the edge of her smile, I knew I was completely gone for her. A few months later, I submitted a photo series to a local gallery. I called it Found Light. It was all about Pixel's journey, from alleyway to comfort. But really, it was about the way Alina looked at her, at me, at the world. The night of the opening, I watched her stand in front of one of the portraits, her arms crossed, her expression soft. It was a candid I'd taken one lazy afternoon. She was sitting by the window, Pixel curled in her lap, the whole world hushed around them. She turned to me and said, "You made our little story into something beautiful." I smiled. "Because you made mine into something real." That night, on my rooftop, under fairy lights strung across old beams and potted herbs, I told her I loved her. She didn't say anything at first, just stepped in, rested her head against my chest, and whispered, "I think Pixel knew it all along." And maybe she did. Maybe that scrappy little kitten with her soft paws and loud opinions had wandered into my life for a reason. Because sometimes, love doesn't knock. It meows.